What's the guarantee? Eric?
Mike, time to make history. Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
Jonas Brothers, greetings from your hometown tour. Playing at KC Center October 5th. Get tickets now at highvtix.com.
We recommend listening to the CW pod with a glass of Steeple Ridge Bourbon. Grown, distilled, well-rested, and bottled in Erling, Iowa. Now from the Channel Seed Studios, this is the CW pod, fueled by Steeple Ridge.
What is up? Welcome back to the Stadium Swim here at Circa. Second show of the day.
Our guest just showed up, too.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for this poor guy. He's wearing a suit. He's like a real media person. He's a television superstar who I've met here over the years at Circa, and I call him a friend. He's a good man. Tim Murray's his name. Tim, scoot in a little closer to me because we are live on doing our internet thing. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like if you were to be in Iowa right now, it's hot, but it's like a rainforest. You know what I mean?
You're sweating?
Well, no, but we come here and it doesn't even feel that hot. It's weird because it's a different type of heat.
Huh.
Does that make sense?
It does. I'll say this. You guys have kind of lucked out. It's not that hot today.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like 130 out.
Yeah, it's like, what, 100? And I think we've already touched like 115 this summer. That's unbearable.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing about it here in Vegas. So I took my son to a water park a week or two ago. 115 degrees outside.
Jeez.
We were cool all day. As long as you're wet, so like go jump in the pool at Stadium Swim, come back, and you're good.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But if you're not wet, you feel like you're baking in another.
I'm jumping in the pool after this.
Yeah, you need to do that.
Do you know Maddie Van Winks?
I do not.
Producer Maddie Van Winks over there is Tim Murray from VSiN, college football guru, just friend of the show. How's life? You came on about a year ago. We did the same type of podcast. Is it good?
Life's pretty good. Yeah, we're getting closer to college football.
You're doing great work. I listened to your show, your college football betting show, once a week, right?
Yeah, well, we're doing.
Well, it comes out more than that during the season.
Yeah, season we do 3 episodes a week. We do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
The big one's the Thursday episode where we go through the whole card, give out best bets and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been running the gambit here this summer. I've really enjoyed a lot of the different guests we've had on, and this week I think we'll have 2 episodes. We've been doing about 2 or 3 episodes a week, so yeah, it's been fun, man. A lot of people have been chiming in. The VSiN College Football Betting Podcast.
There you go.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
There you go. Everybody's you're gonna gain some subscribers.
Last year I remember telling you we had Phil Steele on, and he got me over the top on Iowa.
Yeah.
Whew, didn't think you needed to sweat that one out, but we got there.
Well,
a favorite in 11 of 12 games, and they won 8.
I just did. I don't know. I just did an hour and 15, and I bet we spent 45 minutes talking about Iowa, right, Maddie? And what a weird. The Big Ten, like, to me, is just bizarre.
Oh, so bizarre.
And so is the Big 12, but I'm used to that because I'm a Big 12 guy. But, like, the Big Ten, like, the middle of the Big Ten feels like all of the Big 12, or I don't know what's the difference in these teams. You know what I'm saying?
I said it last year. I'll say it again this year, and I'm not saying this because I'm on your podcast. I know you're an Iowa State guy. I think that the Big 12 is my favorite conference.
Yeah.
It's just, you look at the odds board, right, and it's like plus 550, 6-1 is your favorite. You know, when you look at the Big Ten is very top heavy. It's Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, and then there seems to be a perceived drop off. SEC is top-ish heavy, even though I would say the depth of the SEC is the strongest of any conference in the country. And then the ACC is extremely top-heavy. I think it's Clemson, Miami.
Oh, yeah.
And then
the most top-heavy conference.
Yeah, I mean, I'm early on in the summer, I put a bet in on Clemson to win the conference. That number's come down. I could be talked into Miami, but it's hard for me to get talked into anybody else. in that conference this year. I think SMU's going to take a little bit of a step back. Schedule's a little more challenging. When I look at, Georgia Tech's a team that's getting some love.
Yeah.
Maybe not to win the conference, but they really thrive in that underdog role, which is fascinating because week 1 they go out to Boulder and take on Colorado, where they're a 3.5-point favorite. And it's like, ooh, this is kind of a uncharted territory for Georgia Tech heading to Colorado. But I love the Big 12 this year. I mean, like last year where we had the last place team win the conference, which is just wild, and then they get rid of the
They're just like,
poll.
screw it, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you do this anymore.
But I think you can I really think you could make a legitimate argument for like 10, 11 teams. And then
I was just going to say 6 or 7. I could make, I think, an intelligent argument that they should be the favorite.
I mean, and think about it. I imagine you're going to Dublin?
Yes. I will be.
I mean, that's going to be a madhouse. That's going to be a madhouse.
You guys are going to have a great crowd here at Circa for that game.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 2 top 20 teams.
9 a.m. for Vegas.
Oh.
I mean, think about that day. And week 0 is always kind of just a weird one, but you get...
It's actually not terrible this year.
It's really good because you got a really good one in Iowa State, Kansas State, which has so much meaning.
Yep.
And then you get a little bit of a break in the day. I think Kansas-Fresno State's going to be interesting. I just had someone on my podcast today who really likes Fresno State plus 14 in that game.
Really?
And then out on the island, you've got Hawaii and Stanford. And we had Timmy Chang on VSiN last week. Timmy loves this team.
Really?
He's got this kid, Micah Alejado, who threw for 400. He was the only kid in college football last year for throw for 450 and rush for 50 in one game, and he did it in his first career start.
Wow.
And it was last year against New Mexico. So that game's going to be fun, and then who the heck knows what Stanford's going to be. So, yeah, I know week 1 is awesome, and it is. Week 1's tremendous, and I got to ask you something about week 1 because I think there's a really good opportunity from a betting standpoint in week 1. But week 0 is a nice little appetizer.
Are you looking at Fade the Cyclones?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to.
I mean, you're playing an FCS team sandwiched in between going to Ireland.
Yeah.
And then week 2, you play Cyhawk.
There's even more. The SC quarterback.
3-10.
That quarterback.
Yeah.
Former Iowa State. He transferred from Iowa State.
Oh man, what's that number going to be?
Bowman's his dad played for the Vikings. Bowman. He's like a 5th-year quarterback. Dad played for the Vikings. He started his career at Iowa State, transferred out, so he's got extra motivation.
I think historically Iowa State's like 3-10 ATS
you
against
fade
the
Iowa
FCS
State.
team.
Doesn't matter what the number is. You blindly fade them in that game.
And that's one of the worst spots of the season. You go from Ireland before you play Cyhawk.
Tim, I've been saying the same thing to Hassel, and everybody mocks me because they're like, "Oh, it's an FCS team. You guys, you're just already making excuses."
South Dakota's a quarterfinalist from the FCS, man. I mean, they probably could win the CUSA.
These Iowa State fans are pissed at me constantly because, I'm worried about that game.
What was it?
South Dakota?
Yes.
What about Arkansas State?
Yeah, and then you got to go on the road to Arkansas State.
Why are they doing that?
Well,
Home and home.
They did it
home with the Sun Belt team?
Yeah.
Yes, it's insane.
1-for-1?
It's insane.
That's the dumbest. I'm sorry, Cyclone.
Is
fan,
it a 1-1 or is it a 2-1?
I
It
think
might be a 2-1.
Okay,
Maybe.
if it's 2-1, I'll accept that a little
It
bit more.
might be a 2-for-1.
I'll give you. There's some weird games. I know I'm kind of all over
I'm
the place.
telling
but,
you,
like,
Tim. No, that it doesn't matter what happens in Dublin. You fade Iowa State against South Dakota.
and it's the week before Cyhawk.
Yes, and you talk to all these teams and you fade the team after Dublin.
Yeah,
that's what you do. So,
now,
what do you think of Iowa?
So
I think they're better.
So sorry, real quick.
Oh,
so
yeah,
in 2012, Notre Dame started the year in Ireland.
Yes.
They came back home and they almost lost to Purdue, a pretty mediocre Purdue team, and that Notre Dame team went 12-0. In 2023, I think they played Navy again over there. They learned their lesson, and for the first time in school history, they played an FCS team in week one. They're like, nope, we're not messing with this. We're going to play an FCS team. Obviously, last year, Florida State was a mess, but they came home and they lost to Boston College on that Monday night.
What do you think of Iowa State in general? I'll get your outside view, and then I'll chime in with mine, and then we'll get to Iowa.
I'll be honest. I don't really have a strong opinion on them, but I don't have a bet on them to win the conference.
I wouldn't either.
I don't. Yeah. I don't love them. I'm not trying to avoid the question. I love the quarterbacks in this conference.
Oh, it's so fun.
It's incredible.
Got a lot of these retread guys who are all experienced, and then there's than the Roccos of the world.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
Rocco's been there forever. I mean, I even look at like a Josh Hoover that I feel like no one's really given the proper due to. I think he's going to light up UNC week 1, and people are like, oh, this dude's pretty legit.
Dude, I think they may be the most underrated team in the league.
I would agree.
Okay.
I think so.
That's
I think
TCU for those who don't know. Yeah.
TCU, I think, has a chance to win this conference. They're flying very much under the radar.
They're one of the teams that I could make an intelligent argument for.
Absolutely.
Like, and compare them. So we did this thing, and I was wrong. This was like 2 months ago. Hassel and I did the like top 5 biggest games for Iowa State, and I had at Colorado over at TCU, and that was wrong. Like, TCU is going to be a better team, I think, than Colorado. Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't really know what Colorado's going to be, and I'm not like a
Colorado's 6, TCU
I'm not a prime hater, but like this team
6.5. I like the over for TCU 6.5.
Yes, I do too. But I'm looking at, all right, so I just pulled up Iowa State's schedule. I think Arizona, I think we all agree, is probably
We should win that game.
worst team in the conference, if not one of the worst. I mean, they start off.
But unbelievable, though. 5.5 win total if they're the worst.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, so.
There's not much difference between the 3rd team and the 16th team.
So the BYU game obviously is, in theory, gotten easier now that Salter's gone.
Yeah.
I had Hans Olsen, who is their color analyst on my show, and we went through the 3 quarterbacks that BYU has, and he could talk positively about them, but you could sense hesitancy in that voice.
You're like having to pull it out of him.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, look, McKay Hillstead, that's going to be the starter, more than likely. Utah State transfer, but he's small, not a big dude. Then you've got Trayson Bourget, who is, I think, Central Michigan transfer, one of the directional Michigans, kind of like a whatever. And then the wild card's Bear Bachmeier, who was a pretty decent recruit, but started at Stanford. But, I mean, look, the schedule, I feel like, is you get Arizona State at home, you get BYU at home, so you have to go to elevation. You don't have to play Utah, which is huge, because I think Utah is certainly.
I like Utah this year.
So I bet them 6-1 to win the conference.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's a good play.
So
that's a good value bet.
So I look at Utah. A couple things jump out to me. Now, schedule-wise, I think they have to play the top 4 teams outside of themselves in the odds. They get 3 of them at home. I'm just infatuated by Devin Dampier. I bet him 100 to 1 to win the Heisman Trophy.
Wow.
Yeah, he brings in he comes with his offensive coordinator, Jason Beck. They bring in with him the best, I think the second best wide receiver from New Mexico. They bring in Washington State's running back and Washington State's running backs coach. And Utah's going to be great on front. They're going to have one of the best offensive lines in the country. And Kyle Whittingham said it at Big 12 Media Day where he was like, look, I couldn't retire after last year. I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
So not to say that, like, hey, we're betting on the I can't do that again thought process, but like you tend to know what you're going to get with Utah. And last year seemed to be the outlier. And a lot of it was what they were playing like their 4th or 5th string quarterback.
That's the thing. They had 2 things going against them. The quarterback deal.
Well, yeah,
obviously.
We thought Cam Rising was going to play, and then we played that whole song and dance all year.
But it's also hard to switch leagues.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're traveling to new places. I still think as handicappers, we're all learning about the travel and how that's going to truly impact these teams.
I got to find this stat.
They're at UCLA to open the season, too. Utah.
5-point favorite now. Crazy. Betting markets loves Utah in
Some
that
tough
spot.
road games, too, though. At Kansas,
The schedule's,
at BYU this year.
The schedule's challenging. I mean, the BYU game gets a little bit better, but that's a rivalry game. The schedule's certainly challenging, but if we can get to...
I like Utah better than BYU this year.
Oh, yeah.
Considerably.
I mean,
you see Retzloff is going to Tulane?
Yeah. How about this?
Yeah.
This was
Utah's number is at 8 for those interested. Juice on the under.
So we're here. Big Ten Media Days start tomorrow, right?
Yes.
This is from Paul Stone. You know Paul Stone, pro handicapper.
I know who he is. I don't know him, but
he's awesome. I love Paul.
Okay.
He puts in a ton of effort. This is what he goes. He goes, Big Ten teams last year crossing 2 or 3 time zones.
Well, this is my juice. Bring it.
4, 16, and 1 ATS when the spread was less than 20 points.
Okay, so you're here in Vegas. You understand this more than our audience. I want to help give them an edge.
Yeah.
How much will that be baked in this year? Like, have we learned more with all these mega conferences, or is that just – how much did you think about that on a day-to-day basis?
I think you should always think about it. Look, the way I handicap, I don't, there are a lot of different handicappers who make their models, and I respect. If you're gonna put in the time and effort, I'll listen to you. Like I have great. I'll have Tyler Shoemaker, who writes for us at VSiN's.
He's great. Love his
Index. He's just come out with his. He's very numerically based, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different. Colin Wilson, very numerically based, but he also bakes in a little bit of situation. For me, I'm a big situational guy. That's why I brought up the Iowa State, South Dakota situation.
No, you're not.
I look through all the schedules. I'll give you a weird situation that I think is fascinating in the SEC. So Arkansas on September 13th, what's that, week 2, they go to Ole Miss. And then in week 4, they host Notre Dame. And I texted Colin Wilson, who lives down in Arkansas, hey, what's the buzz about the Notre Dame game? Because people have been talking about it for months and months and months.
Oh, that's huge.
In the middle, they play on the road at Memphis, and a G5 team who we heard the story today trying to buy their way into the Big 12. You don't think they want to beat Arkansas, and you get them on your home field?
Massive deal.
Right?
Yeah.
So I try to find these spots, and sometimes they play out perfectly, sometimes they don't. But yeah, I think to your point, like we saw, I think it was USC really struggle last year crossing the time zones, right?
Yeah.
They lost at Maryland. They lost a couple other games where they should not have lost. I mean, they lost one. They slipped one, against Michigan that they probably should have won. But, yeah, I mean, it's certainly, when you look at the Big Ten, and heck, for a team like, I'll give you an example. We just had Mountain West Media Days here at Circa. Hawaii last year was 6-1 ATS at home. But on the road, they were a drastically different team. The travel is just brutal for them. Now, they can overcome that, and to your point, things do get baked into lines, but it is still worth monitoring those. And I would say this, if you're looking to handicap games, just look ahead, right? So you could be ready when those numbers come out, because the sharp guys are going to move that number, right?
That's the key.
Yeah.
I have a theory on the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten is greatly dictated by the 3 I's: Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa.
And I think Iowa's getting the least respect of all 3.
Absolutely, there's no question.
The Illinois love, and I'm curious, Chris, what you guys have talked about. The Illinois love is a little much.
Well, it's weird because Indiana's the same way in my mind. Like you look at what they did last year and what they have coming back, and in theory, they should be good.
I think Indiana's not dropping off. Now, are they going to go to the playoff? Are they going to win 11 games? The schedule's harder this year than it was last year.
Last year they didn't play anybody.
They played Ohio State and they got smoked.
Yes.
They played Notre Dame and they got smoked.
Correct.
But I still I could make an argument they upgraded a quarterback with Fernando Mendoza coming in from Cal. I like
Rourke.
Rourke was good, but I think Mendoza probably has a higher upside. They bring back, I believe, a lot of their running back room. But I agree. I think the 3 I's, that's a really interesting way to look at it. And Illinois, Indiana, September 20th is going to be a game where it's like, well, that's going to be pivotal for the playoff.
That's my point. You look at where, like, a lot of these Penn States, Ohio States, Michigans are, you look at their schedules. The 3 I's are going to have a massive impact. So, like, if Illinois is as good, they're the hype team right now.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you feel like that?
100%.
Like, if you run in the Big Ten circles, Illinois is the one team that everybody's, fired up about.
I think
Iowa
gets Indiana at a really good spot. It's the week after this Illinois game where there's going to be a lot of expectation going into that. Hey, the winner of this game could be. Let me just say this. Everyone keeps saying that Illinois is going to be this year's Indiana. No. Indiana's win total was 5.5 last year. They were at some shops 200-1 to make the playoff, not to win the title, win the playoff. Illinois is like 5 or 6-1 to make the playoff this year.
This was printed today here at Circa. Indiana 8.5. Juice is on the under.
Okay.
-140. Illinois 7.5. Juice is on the over at -165. Then let's go to Iowa.
6.5?
7.5.
7.5. Okay.
Under Juice at -140.
There were some 6.5s, I think, out there in Iowa.
Okay.
So Indiana has a, once again, laughable non-con.
Oh, they're just shameless about it too.
And they canceled a home and home with Virginia.
Yeah, they don't want anything. They don't want anything.
They don't want any of that smoke.
Nope.
So then you get Illinois, Iowa, Oregon right out of the jump right there. Boom, boom, boom.
road games too.
Iowa and Oregon are road games. They get Illinois and Bloomington. They get Penn State on the road. I don't know about you. I think Wisconsin is going to be down this year. Their schedule
He might
is
get fired.
Their schedule. Have you looked at their schedule?
It's the worst in the country.
I mean,
it's Florida last year.
Look, I'm sure you've talked to your audience about it, but like, they get one perceived bad team in the Big Ten. Like, do their years of being in the Big Ten West, did they just get punished for it this year? It's ridiculous.
But Tim, that's what worries me a little bit about Iowa.
But yeah, because Iowa's schedule
Right.
rough.
But like, Ferentz, and we all revere him for it. You know exactly what you're going to get. Like, he doesn't change. They won so many games in the Big Ten West because that's just what they do, and they do it better than everybody else. That's gone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, your margins are just so small there in general. And if, like, they don't have this elite defense, which I don't think anybody thinks they're going to. I think their defense will be better than most people.
Well, I mean, you could tell me more, though, and I'm probably going to ask you this when you come on my show later today.
Okay, yeah. VSiN, check it out.
VSiN Primetime. Mark Gronowski is legit.
Yeah,
he's legit.
I absolutely believe in him.
So when was the last time Iowa said we have a legit quarterback?
Probably Nate Stanley when he, I don't know, CJ Beathard. CJ Beathard.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah.
But they jacked him around so much, like with the Jake Rudock thing. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Beathard should have been playing weeks before. The weird thing about Iowa quarterbacks in the past, and this is in a different offensive regime you have to keep in mind, they regress.
Yeah.
They're better as redshirt freshmen than they are as seniors.
That's wild.
Now you have Tim Lester, and everything has supposedly changed. Last year was really bizarre because you had this outstanding running back.
Who I bet, by the way, to win Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
50 to 1. Come on.
There we go.
Let's go Steelers.
But I don't know. That's the weird thing about Iowa to me. It's like they won so many games against mediocre teams by just outlasting them. And now the talent of what they're going against is so much better. So, and Iowa's got good talent. It's a good roster. It's not a great roster, but it's a good roster. They're really, really, because I could see this going one of two ways. I could see Ferentz ripping this roster and go 10-2.
Yeah.
I don't think they will. But like, this is the type of roster that Kirk usually surprises you with. Or if this offense doesn't take the steps we think that it's going to, they could be 5-7. Really, because this isn't like this.
There's a couple
vintage Bill Parker defense that is one of the top 5 in the country.
There's a couple swing games, right?
Iowa State's one of them.
Iowa State's one of them.
Yeah.
Indiana's one of them. I mean, going to Camp Randall, I mean, as much as I think Wisconsin's going to be under the win total of 5.5, that's not going to be easy.
And they don't that's a rivalry.
Yeah,
game, right?
and Camp Randall, Oregon almost lost there last year.
If you're a Wisconsin fan, you have that game circled as a win.
You have to win that game.
Yeah.
You have. When you look at that schedule, you have to win that game.
Absolutely.
You're home to Penn State, who some people believe is the best team in the country.
I heard Phil Steele said that on your show.
Phil Steele said it.
Yeah.
Brett Ciancia, Pick Six Previews. Ari Wasserman, I know is.
It's difficult to argue. When you look at the roster.
When you look at the perceived best teams in the country this year, so there are 8 teams, Chris, that are favored to make the playoff. So meaning a minus sign on the yes. And that is in no particular order. Or Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and I forget Texas. Of 6 of those teams, 5 of those teams, you don't know what you're getting at quarterback. You know what you're getting at quarterback at Clemson.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting quarterback at Penn State. And I think we know in Texas, but I'm still like, he only started 2 games.
Runner.
He is the Heisman frontrunner. I thought his answer was pretty funny. He was like,
that's crazy.
I know why they did it. And
Hey,
for your
it.
audience, like, the reason they did it, well, there's 3 reasons. Number 1, he's Arch Manning.
Yes.
Number 2, he's a 5-star prospect with all the hype in the world. And number 3, it's Steve Sarkisian in Texas, and they've got loaded talent around him. And they play week 1 against Ohio State. They beat Ohio State then game on
Plus
to win the Heisman Trophy.
550. The next highest is 850.
There's no way you can't touch that. In my opinion, you can't touch that.
Horrible bet.
But yeah, going back to the Iowa schedule, swing game Iowa State.
I would bet the Ohio State kid before I would Arch Manning.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a couple interesting ways you could look at the Heisman. What is what is on that sheet? What is Ty Simpson, Alabama? He's probably a little bit further down.
4,200.
42
He's about 15th.
Okay, so 42-1 on a team that's favored to make the playoff with a coach and an offensive coordinator who has historically made quarterback play elevate.
Yeah.
You think about Michael Penix. You think about Jake Hayner at Fresno State. I think Ty Simpson's kind of a fascinating one. There's some belief that, like, Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith will cancel each other out. There's some belief that Ty Simpson and Ryan Williams will cancel each other out. Those are the quarterback and wide receiver tandems there.
Yeah, that's a decent point.
Would you sprinkle it on Aller on Penn State? I mean,
I wouldn't.
Number one going into the season?
I wouldn't, because I think when you look about how is Penn State going to win this year, they've got the best running back duo in the country in Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen. And look, I was there, man, and I know that I probably shouldn't think this way, but I was at the Notre Dame Penn State game. He completed this many passes to wide receivers. Zippy. Now, in their defense, they went out and they got Pena from Syracuse. They went out and they got a transfer from USC. Penn State's going to be good.
We just had Chad Blysko from the Des Moines Register on with us. We talked about this exact conversation. He's fading Aller, too. Doesn't like him.
You know, it's funny. I don't know if you listen to McShay's podcast.
I don't.
He does a very good job. I like Todd McShay. Not personally. I just think he gives good analysis. And he wouldn't say it, but he was like, why didn't Drew Aller go to the Manning passing camp? 3 straight years running. It's a weird dynamic.
That is interesting.
Look, Penn State, it's kind of a if not now, when situation this year. You've got it all laid out for you.
Well, and
you've got everyone back. You paid the money to keep people. You pulled the defensive coordinator from the national champion. Jim Knowles is your D coordinator now. You made the big hire 2 years ago to get Colton Nickey from Kansas, and you've got a veteran quarterback, the best running back duo in the country, really good defense, good lines. You've got a schedule that is pretty soft. Their non-con's an absolute abomination. They get Oregon at home. They're going to do the whiteout there. Yeah, you got to go to Ohio State, but you could lose that game. It doesn't matter.
They remind me in the Big 12 of Texas Tech. Hear me out. Different situations. Penn State's bringing everybody back, but Tech's bringing everybody in.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like man, if we can't do it this year, when can we, right? Penn State makes some noise in the playoff last year, brings all these guys back. You have a coach with the reputation he can't win the big game.
Yep.
You have a returning quarterback. You have all these players. And then you have Tech, where it's like they're never going to have that developmental talent that Penn State has this year. But they're saying we're putting all of our chips in on if you can't win this year in your Texas Tech, it's a complete bust. It fears me with Penn State. If you lose a game early.
Yeah. What's the Joey McGuire thing is pretty interesting to me. And I'm curious your perspective on it, because their win total, I think, is 7.5 or 8.5. But their fan base is like, I don't care about that. You better get us to the playoff with this roster.
There's heavy pressure in Lubbock.
And
right
Joey
now.
McGuire's year 4? 3
Yes.
or 4? 4.
The vibe I got in Dallas is that if they don't go to the playoff, it's a failure.
Yeah.
If they don't
That's
win the Big 12.
Yeah.
If
It's a
they
lot of
don't,
pressure for a program that's, I mean, you know,
for
you
a bunch of transfers too.
Right.
Like they're not embedded to that place.
And I'll say this, man, like
Hire guns.
Morton, I think, is good. But when does he stay healthy?
Where is he at in the Big 12 quarterback hierarchy?
Not that, in my opinion.
10th?
I mean, I'm going to rattle them off. I mean, I'm not putting these in order. I put Rocco ahead of him. I put Avery Johnson ahead of him. I put Sawyer Robertson ahead of him.
doubt.
I'd put
Hoover.
I put Josh Hoover ahead of him. Personally, I put Devin Dampier ahead of him.
Levitt.
Sam Levitt, I put ahead of him. Yeah, I mean, he's middle of the pack at best. I put Jalen Daniels ahead of him.
Daniels, of course.
I mean,
He's 8th to 12th.
yeah. And he doesn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
I was surprised, and I forget who brought it up, but I was kind of surprised that they didn't throw like Retzlaff like $1 million and be like, look, dude, I know you want to start, but just come here, be our backup, be our insurance policy.
That's a great point.
And look, I mean, he wants to get the tape out there. He wants to go pro. I totally understand that. So he goes to Tulane, which is kind of a weird, clunky situation down there. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of pressure. Texas Tech, I think there's a couple teams you would say are like most polarizing this year. I think Illinois is very polarizing. I think South Carolina picked 5th by the media at media days. Lenora Sellers' first team. Like, I like Lenora Sellers. He might be a top 5 pick, but damn, that's a lot of pressure on him in South Carolina. And then I think you look at Texas Tech with all the money that they spend. LSU spent a ton of money in the portal too.
I'll tell you. So if Illinois is the talk down here, the Texas Tech, that was all anyone's talking about at the bar. At Big 12, amongst like media types.
I mean,
like,
you think about it. Like David
it.
Bailey hits the portal, one of the best edge rushers out there, and he goes to Texas Tech.
Yeah, it's just weird, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
It's just a money driven, and a really profound moment happened there, where it was Matt Berry was on stage doing this like Q&A with, it was for TV, like half the teams, half the coaches, and Scott Frost just starts lobbing grenades at college football. I'm paraphrasing. College football sucks right now because whoever has the biggest boosters is who's going to win. And then you had Joey McGuire over there just like on the stage. It was super awkward. Everybody's staring at him. I think he knows,
Yeah. That's interesting coming from a guy at Nebraska who had all the resources and couldn't win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised
right?
he didn't win there. I thought
he would. Well, he had some demons.
Correct.
Everything that you hear about what happened there, a lot of off-field stuff.
A lot of stuff that he did that was self-inflicted. But you think back to when that hire was made, it was perfect.
Oh, yeah. It was.
How do you criticize?
And it was like UCF, remember, they were like, go.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do. It was one of those weird situations where, like, he won the bowl game, if I remember correctly, and then they were like, you got to go.
Dude, that was so wild, too, because, like, those Nebraska fans were going to the UCF bowl game. And
they were.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're self-proclaimed national champions.
Yeah.
By the way,
Van hates Nebraska, if you can't tell. He just despises Nebraska.
Well, I like Nebraska this year.
You like that?
Wow.
I bet over 7.5.
Well, I love the quarterback.
Well, I
love Taylor Martinez too. Though.
I kind of have a couple of these quarterbacks that I think fly under the radar. I think Avery Johnson's one of them.
I do too.
Because remember last year when you guys were here, I was sitting at the sports book and I had some Kansas State blogger or something be like in my face, like, why isn't Avery Johnson going to win the Heisman? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Why are you yelling at me? And he was like 25-1. He's now 50-1.
Yeah.
So he's taken like under the radar.
Isn't it great when the guys can take a little beating early in their career and then they go back to the drawing board?
And then I think Dylan Raiola, I mean, having Holgerson as his offensive coordinator.
That's the key.
And
that's the key.
They brought in a Notre Dame transfer on the offensive line who started, I think, every game last year. They brought in an Alabama transfer, I want to say, on the offensive line. They have weapons.
Holgerson is a bad head coach. He is an elite offensive coordinator.
And, like, it was weird last year how they just threw him in there. Now it's a full offseason.
I'm with you.
I'm not saying they're going to win the title or anything like that.
I'm on the Nebraska over. Here we are.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah. I bet over 7.5. So I have two Big Ten win totals. It was over 7.5 for Nebraska, under 5.5 for Wisconsin.
All right, real quick, and then you got to go. Do you have any Big 12 plays that you just love?
So I mentioned Utah to win the title.
Yep, we like their over.
So there's a couple bets that I've made this year that I just like the upside. So, I'm a Notre Dame fan, but there was a shop in town.
You're just a disgusting sicko Notre Dame fan.
I am. And I usually don't bet on them, but there was a spot in town that had them at 30-1 to win the title. And I'm like, that just is way too high.
Yeah.
So I bet that because I feel like the upside of Notre Dame could be a title, but I'm not going to bet their win total because I think they could get tripped up and they've got a young quarterback. I think Utah's upside is winning this conference with Devin Dampier. And like a dude who ran for over 1,100 yards a year ago, if he can stay healthy with that offensive coordinator, bringing in a really talented running back. So my Big 12 portfolio currently just consists of Utah to win the conference at 6-1, and then there was a shop nationally that had Dampier at 100-1 to win the Heisman.
Okay,
and I threw a little sprinkle on that, nothing too crazy. But yeah, I think Utah. Look, a team that I'm infatuated by. I haven't bet it yet. I think one of the best games in Week 1 is Baylor-Auburn.
2.5.
2.5. Friday night, Waco, home dog situation. I don't think people... Now, your audience might know this.
Aranda. I like Aranda this year.
And Sawyer Robertson is another one of those guys.
Yeah.
His numbers last year were incredible. And think about it this way. He was not the starter last year going in, right? They got the Daquan Trent transfer from Toledo. I think there are a couple situations in college football this year where you had a quarterback controversy where maybe you started the wrong guy and now you figured out he was the right guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to start. I think Sawyer Robertson's one of those. But that said, I think Auburn is very intriguing because Hugh Freeze is under a ton of pressure, and they went out and they got Jackson Arnold, another buy low guy. Everyone's like, that guy stinks, right? Does he? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he was a pretty good prospect. So I think there's a bunch of, like, I mentioned Avery Johnson. I mentioned, Dylan Raiola. I think Jackson Arnold. I'm very curious about Carson Beck, man. Because you look at Beck's numbers at Georgia, and then I had Drew Butler on, former punter from Georgia, on the podcast who does radio down in Atlanta. Man, Georgia folks don't like that dude.
Really?
Yeah, they just like, he never jived. We just never, like, he talked about,
he got the hell out of there, man.
Yeah, he did. And he was like, there was just things that, like, didn't fit well, like, you know, with all the cars, and they had a, tragedy and a car accident, and he rolls up with, like, a Ferrari endorsement. So, yeah, man, I'm not just saying this because I'm a college football sicko. I think this year is going to be amazing.
I can't wait.
I think the Big 12 is going to be just the most entertaining conference in college football. Again, last year it was, and I think it will be again. I mean, they're just good. It's going to be a Royal Rumble just every week. And it starts week 0 with Iowa State, Kansas State.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get out to Dublin and get at it, man.
Are you guys bringing Busch Light with you?
Yes.
I mean,
Actually,
Iowa State fans, can you try a Guinness? Just try a Guinness.
I'll try it, but I'm not going to.
You're going to go to Dublin and you're going to drink Busch Light?
If they have it, yeah.
Have you had an Ames Lager, Tim?
An Ames Lager.
Yeah. Tell them, Will.
Hey, Tim, you need to come. We'll host you. Come up to Ames for a game.
I would love to do that.
Come for Cyhawk this year.
Arizona State?
We'll get it sponsored. We'll fly you up. Let's go.
You tell me the date. I would love.
I'll see if Circa will sponsor it.
I got a morning Saturday tailgate show. You get me a spot.
I'll get you a spot.
Hey, give me a spot to do
Steeple Ridge.
Absolutely. Some Steeple Ridge bourbon. You ever had that?
I mean, you just tell me all the different types.
It's a sponsor of my show here. Beautiful. It's lovely. No, we'll get you up there. Hassel's coming.
I do like Smittix, good beer over in Ireland.
I like that better than
I like it better than Guinness. Yeah. And I like Harp, but when I went to Ireland when I was in college, the beer I ended up drinking the most was Smittix.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Is it better in Ireland?
Yes.
Like the Guinness is?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to go to Guinness Factory though.
We're doing that. Already
That's
got
awesome.
tickets.
Oh yeah, got to go to Guinness Factory.
So
got to go to the Jameson Factory.
Notre Dame played in this game, what, 2 years ago?
23. Yeah.
We were here. We watched that game at Circa.
Smoked Navy 42-3.
That was a fun day.
Not that I remember.
I was sitting at the sports book at 8 a.m.
Aviva Stadium. I heard it's a beautiful stadium. You could walk right from the bar to the stadium.
Tim, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. I'm going to go on Tim's show. We're going to hang up here.
Start working on those. We'll exchange notes.
Yes, absolutely.
I would love to get out to Ames for a game. That would be awesome.
How great would that be, Maddie? We're going to do it.
The VSiN's tailgate show?
We had a blast. Golick Jr. and Hassel. We did
the Texas game 2 years ago.
Texas game 2 years, and so I have my camper at the stadium, and we just sit there and just all night. It's so much fun. Well, you can broadcast
8
from
to
my
11
camper.
a.m. Central.
You
got a spot for me?
I got a Starlink. We'll just hook you right up.
I'm in.
We're in. Tim Murray. Check him out.
See you guys.
Appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week.